Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, thanks so much for joining. I am getting back into my YouTube era. I took a break during this time period just because, I don't know, like I want the gym to be on the forefront of everything right now, but unfortunately it just can't be. So I'm like, I don't know, my motivation to create content has been a little bit low just because I haven't really been feeling myself, but I feel like I'm kind of on the tail end of that. I'm getting ready for a bridal shower this morning and I figured we could get ready together. I could give you some life updates and then just take you through the rest of my day. I do have to hit legs later. Also, please ignore this. I'm doing laundry today and I just did not feel like making my bed if I'm just gonna end up putting it in the washing machine when I get home from this bridal shower. We're gonna go with the curls today. I do still have to make breakfast, so hopefully this doesn't take too long. Curling my hair does tend to take a while, but I did get a pretty decent haircut and I hate it because I love having super long hair. This is still probably considered pretty long, but I'm used to it being like way down to my belly button, and the fact that it comes to like here is crazy. Life update for you guys. I literally have not spoken to you guys in like over 10 weeks, which is crazy. I was doing so well. I was getting you guys up like a video like every other week, but then life happened, you know, and sometimes you just have to take a step back, which is something that I'm really learning. Like there's a time and a place for pushing and there's a time and a place for pulling back. And I think a lot of times athletes have more trouble pulling back than pushing. Like we know how to push, we're athletes, you know what I mean? But like when we're going through things like injuries or health issues or just like stress or like life happens, sometimes it's necessary to have to pull back. And I struggle with that a lot because I'm like constantly just like, no, I need to push. I need to stay on plan. I don't even really remember what the last update I gave you guys was. I remember I told you guys that I was gonna move into doing macros because I felt like I was in this weird place with bodybuilding where I hadn't given myself food freedom in like years. And it was starting to like weigh on me because I wanted to try all these fun new recipes and I wanted to try new foods and incorporate balance into my diet. Also, side note, I have to spray every curl with hairspray in between or they genuinely will not stay. So ignore that, but if anyone has any advice for that, that would be fantastic. But anyway, I took you guys through a full day of eating, I know, but I don't know if I did another video after that of the foods that I was eating, the new things I was trying. I was having a lot of things that I just like didn't have in my diet before. It was going really well for a couple weeks until it wasn't. I started getting some gut symptoms. My forehead is like one of the telltale signs that I'm having gut issues, and my forehead was completely breaking out. It was like extreme combo skin to the point where like it felt so dry, but it was also breaking out and it was bumpy. And TMI, but I could literally like squeeze oil out of my forehead. Like it was, I don't know what was going on. And most of the stuff that I was having in my diet was the same except for the fact that I was incorporating dairy and gluten back in, which I have pretty much cut off except for like the one free meal I get per week where I'll have dairy or gluten. And again, I don't know if I told you this, but I was doing a couple weeks of this new like kind of macro based program, and all of a sudden I started developing these issues and insensitivities to foods that I have had in my diet forever. So I was dealing with like a lot of burping, a lot of fullness, obviously the forehead, like acne. And when I would eat oats, all of a sudden oatmeal, oat milk, anything oat that I have had in my diet for a while, all of a sudden just like made me blow up like a freaking balloon. Like it was crazy. And that was kind of like the final line for me. I was like, okay, like clearly something's wrong. I shouldn't be having these intolerances. And if my gut was in a good spot, I wouldn't be intolerant to any foods. So that's the big thing, is like some people think that they're intolerant to certain foods and that like you could be, but you shouldn't be. And that just shows you that something is going on with the gut that like you got to take care of. I was talking to my coach about starting a prep. I don't know, I was just feeling a little bit better about my situation since I had given myself more balance and I was just like a little bit more free. I was like, okay, I think I'm like good to go into a prep now. Like I'm in a good headspace. But with the stomach issues I was experiencing, I was like, well, not anymore. So I ended up having a consult call with two people in this industry that are just like very well known for helping people with their gut. And I did a consult call with them both and I decided to take the advice of the one, and I can give them to you both. They're amazing. David Squita is Dynamite D on Instagram, and then Lacey Dunn, which is Faith and Fit on Instagram. Both amazing references and knew so much, so knowledgeable. I decided to go with Lacey's protocol just because I want to like nip this in the butt. Like, I do not want this to like come back during a prep. And so her approach is more aggressive right now, but it's going to get rid of everything. Whereas the other approach, while still good and I think is like, can be very beneficial, it was more like a let's not poke the bear. Like, let's not do excessive stuff if we don't have to, which does make sense. I just know that like I want to go into a prep and I don't want these issues to like be kind of just like on the line of being able to like come up and just be an issue. You know what I mean? I did the GI map and then I had the consult calls, and basically I was struggling with, I'm about to give up on this piece of hair, bro. I was able to see that I just had some small issues going on. I had an H. pylori infection along with 2 other overgrowths of bacteria. And then the other ones were technically like below the threshold line, but they were still like kind of right on the border. So if things got a little bit worse, they would, you know, go up and they could cause even more issues than what I was having. So that's why I kind of went with like the full eradication instead of like the let's not poke the bear, because I was like, I just want to get rid of this. I don't want this to become an issue. Anyway, it has been a little over 10 weeks and I did a kill phase. And now I'm pausing the kill phase for 5 days before retesting. So that was on, what day did I stop? Wednesday. So I'm retesting on Monday. And I am praying that this comes back clean and good and ready to go. Because if so, that means I get to start my repopulation phase. Because basically I kill the bad bacteria in my gut, but by doing so, I'm also kind of killing off some good bacteria. So the gut is in a very sensitive state. So we need to make sure that we're repopulating it with the good bacteria so that we have it, doesn't give the bad bacteria a chance to overgrow again. So we have a game plan right now for a show. Like, we genuinely do. I don't know if we're gonna meet that timeline. We might have to push it back a little bit, but I do plan on competing next year if all goes well. I just feel like there's also like a lot of life stuff going on. Our lease ends in December and we're pretty much just trying to decide what we're gonna do. We have an idea of what we're gonna do, but I will keep my mouth closed until we have further details. But back to the topic of the kill phase. So one of the issues is that you have to make sure you're reducing your stress, especially during a kill phase, because, you know, your body's just really sensitive. The die-off symptoms can be a little bit harsh. And one of the things that Lacey told me to do was to make sure that I wasn't like overdoing training, pull back a little bit, like don't train to failure. And I didn't like 100% listen. I didn't like push as hard as I normally push, but I definitely like have a hard time pulling back a little bit because my body's in a sensitive spot. It's really tired. Again, this kill phase is like a harsh thing to do to your body. Your gut plays such a huge role in everything. And if I'm going in and killing off all of this bacteria, like it's probably like, yo, what are you doing to me? You know what I mean? So I could feel that my body was really tired. I could feel that I was overdoing it. But I kept trying to push through and I ended up injuring my back a little bit a couple weeks ago. I ended up having to take like 2 weeks off from the gym before slowly reincorporating these movements back in. It was my QL that I ended up like kind of re-injuring because I've injured it in the past. And so I was out, like I said, I was out for a couple weeks with that. I was working on rehabbing that. Finally started to feel better, incorporated stuff back in, but I was like, listen, like I can't be pushing myself super heavy right now. I have to just focus on lighter movements, mind muscle connection, time under tension. Like I can't be just like pushing weight right now, which is kind of a trap I tend to fall into because I tell myself I should be lifting heavier, not to be a little bitch. And I was back at it for literally like a week and it was quad day. I decided to do pendulums because I love them. And for some reason, again, I was doing super lightweight, but I went down on my third set, third rep, tried to push out of the pendulum squat. And my knee just like went, and I have never felt like that knee acts up a lot because I have Osgood-Schlatter's in it. So it flares up, but I have never felt anything like that. And I was like, what the actual fuck? Like I just got better from this back thing. Now I got to deal with this. And I was like, bro, come on, like give me a break. And I'm like, this is just God trying to tell me like, slow down, like stop trying to push yourself right now. So I ended up taking another like week off from the gym. And then I came back, I was still in some pain. So I just did like glute and hams for the next week. I did my first quad session last weekend and it was okay, but definitely still in a lot of pain. I cannot push a lot of weight. So I was doing like, I don't know, I was doing like very minimal compared to what I normally do. And I'm still kind of dealing with it. Like it's still painful. So I do have quads today, which we're going to go through together and see how that goes. But anyway, that's kind of why I'm like, you know what? I feel like I am not like myself, you know? Like I'm not able to do the things that I love to do. I'm not able to be in the gym consistently and train the way I like to train. And that's how I show up on social media. So it's just a very difficult thing to like still try to show up when I feel like I'm just not doing what I normally do for you guys and like show you guys. I am gonna brush these out, but I like to keep them like this for as long as possible. So anyway, that's kind of my life update. We do have, like I said, a plan for a possible shows for next year, but I think that I don't know. I think this protocol is taking just a tad bit longer than we're expecting because you just have to wait so long for these retest results and everything. I am retesting Monday, like I said, but it takes like literally like a month to get your GI map results back. And that's, you know, if they come back clean, then we can start the repop. If they don't, you know, we're still in this kill phase. We're still working on it. And I'm really hoping that's not the case. Like really hoping. Lacey was like, honestly, if your symptoms are better, you don't even really have to retest. And I was like, honestly, I get that, but I didn't retest the last time I did this, and I think that that was my issue. So I would like to retest just to make sure I'm in the clear for like my own mental. And she was like, totally get that. She's amazing, by the way. If any of you guys are dealing with gut issues or you want like, she does a bunch of other stuff, but she's a registered dietitian. She's amazing. She just cares so freaking deeply, and I cannot recommend her enough. Anyway, I'm gonna finish this hair and then I'm gonna go make breakfast and we're gonna head out. I want to leave in time to be able to get some coffee because I just have a feeling that it's gonna be a long day in general. I've fallen into the trap. I bought an Xbox. I have not played in years because I never really owned one. My sister owned one and I would play hers. I was like, you know what? Like I want to get one because sometimes I feel like I get home at night and I want to do something, but I don't want to just scroll on my phone. So anyway, we got an Xbox and I decided to play last night and I was up until like 1 in the morning and I'm like, fuck, I should not be doing this. That is not very like fitness guru, health and wellness of me. I finished that and I decided that I'm gonna let it sit for a second. So we're gonna do my skincare. I did decide that I am not doing any makeup today just because I do have this tinted moisturizer that I love. Oh, BB cream. So I have the Kosas BB cream and I also have the Say BB cream and I love both of them. But I am very, very pale and surprisingly, this is actually tan for me, which is like crazy because I'm still so freaking pale. But this is the palest shade, like the lightest shade that you can get, and I don't think it's gonna match. So I don't wanna get that and end up looking like a freaking clown. So we're just gonna do my regular skincare and call it a day. I need like a good moisturizer that has like sunscreen in it because I feel like I just have not found a good moisturizer. I'm just gonna go with the serum that I just use and like we're just gonna call it at that. Theme of this bridal shower is like she's off the market, so it's very like floral, very like farmer's market vibes, and I did not have anything to match that. I ended up going to the mall yesterday to try to find something. I initially was just gonna go to Windsor because I was like, they always have cute dresses. Genuinely could not find anything to save my life. I panic bought this because I was like, I don't know what else to get, but this isn't the vibe I wanted. So everyone's wearing like nice flowy floral dresses. I could not find anything. So I got this on a whim and I was like, if I find something else, I'll return it, but I don't want to leave with nothing. So I got this and it's like a tighter fitting dress. And I think it's cute, but the only issue is like the back of it. So open back and then it cinches at your butt here. So it's definitely more of like a, I'm going on a date, like I'm going on a dinner date to a nicer place type vibe than it is bridal shower. So I was like, we're gonna get this if all else fails, but don't love it. My friend reminded me that Altered State exists. I went with this blue dress and I think she is so pretty. I can't wait to try it on, but it's just a really nice like floral, like girly dress that isn't like, oh, I'm about to go out to dinner at 8 p.m. I did get these wedges. I'm trying to decide if it's still gonna look good with this long dress. I don't feel like wearing a heel. It's gonna be hard to walk around in, so I might just wear these anyway because no one's gonna see what I'm wearing under the dress. It's so long. This kitchen is also, dude, everything's a mess. I'm telling you, I was traveling so much last week. I have been home for a solid like 2 days and my suitcases aren't unpacked. The kitchen is a mess. I did take some of the morning supps that I'm taking anyway. And then again, I'm not taking my kill supps, but I'm taking everything else for my base protocol. Move you guys down here. I'm having my little morning drink. It looks a little bit different than it used to. I'm not doing the whole like concoction anymore. I'm just doing 10 grams of glutamine. This is the Mega IgG 2000. I didn't know what this was, but I figured out that it's colostrum. And then I do add some lemon juice to this as well, just to make it not taste like complete shit, because this tastes kind of nasty by itself, not gonna lie. And then I try to have this like 10 minutes before I eat. So this is perfect because I haven't even started my breakfast yet. Ugh, lemon juice. And then two of the things that I'm really focusing on with my gut in general is one, staying hydrated, and two, getting in my fiber, because I was doing terribly at both of those. So Lacey did recommend 2 different supplements for hydration. Get it on Amazon, but I'm gonna be honest, it tastes like complete shit. There's no flavor to it, so it kind of just tastes like you're drinking seawater. The other one that she recommended is called Instant Hydration, and these actually taste really good. I don't usually use hydration supplements, so it was kind of like a shock for me because it definitely has like a very weird like texture to it, but they have a ton of different really good flavors. This is the cotton candy. I don't really use this one as much because I want my stuff to taste more refreshing and not like sweet. So I am trying to do 2 of these a day. And then for breakfast, I made some gluten-free pancakes with some blueberries and some turkey and chicken sausage. I did 2 of the chicken and maple and 2 of the savory turkey sausage links from Applegate. That has been just like my go-to breakfast. So this has about 30 grams of protein in it, which is great. That's what she wants. I added flax seeds to the gluten-free pancake batter, and with the blueberries, the batter, and the flax seeds, I have a decent amount of fiber in this as well. So great way to start the morning. And I'm just gonna get my supplements ready and we're gonna take these to go. All right, we brushed out the curls. I'll show you guys the final fit. Actually, is there a better place to do this? Hold on. So here's the dress. I went with the wedges because I don't feel like wearing little thin heels and like having my feet hurt all day. So there's that. And then the back is so cute. But yeah, that's the outfit, and I'm gonna leave with enough time to get some coffee. Just like a quick like. Hi guys, I got home at like 3, I wanna say, and I immediately got home and fell right asleep for like an hour, and I woke up and I'm like, shoot, I gotta eat and go to the gym. It was a great bridal shower. It was so cute. They had a little build your own bouquet station, and obviously this isn't like enough flowers. I think this is the cutest. It was like, I tried to stay on theme, right, with like the yellows and the oranges and stuff like that, but it was a lot of fun. Lex was glowing. She was so happy, and I just cannot wait until October when we get to celebrate her actual wedding. I just had my second meal. I just made chicken and potatoes because it was easy, and my current hyperfixation is having ketchup, mustard, and then light mayo. So I do like 20 grams of ketchup, 20 grams of mustard, and then a little bit of like light mayo in there, and I mix it all together, and it tastes like, oh my God. It's like a burger sauce. It tastes so freaking good. It's just been my current like hyperfixation for whenever I eat chicken and potatoes. It's so good. We're gonna go hit quads, and I'm gonna do the best that I can. I told you guys that I ended up injuring my knee a couple weeks ago, and it is still definitely not 100%. It's still very sore, especially with quad movements where I'm like bending it. I feel like as I've been in this sport longer and longer, I have like preferences with equipment on things that I like. And I have learned that I do not like Arsenal equipment. I feel like it's so hard on your joints. So we have the Arsenal pendulum and the Arsenal hack squat and the Arsenal leg press, and I'm just not a fan of any of them. My quad day is actually only 4 exercises total for quads, and then I have like abs to do on top of that, but this is my shortest day, so I'm really excited. I feel like it's only gonna take me like an hour, hour and a half max. But I just wanted to preface that because I will probably not be pushing the weight like I normally would. One, obviously I'm still in my gut protocol, so I'm not trying to like go balls to the wall, but also with this knee, I do not want to like piss it off, make it worse. I just want it to get better. So I think this is gonna be more like a time under tension, mind muscle connection, pump workout type vibe. But if you are healthy and you can lift to the best of your abilities, you can take this exact workout and you can just do it full intensity.
Okay guys, I decided to start off with the Squat Pro. I just felt like this was the best option given my circumstances. So we're going a little bit lighter here. Like I said, we're doing 4 sets of 10 to 12, and I'm focusing on a 4-second eccentric here. So I feel like these felt longer than they actually look. I did end up increasing the weight to 2 plates on each side for my last couple sets. So this was just the first set. I was feeling it out. And I know you guys can't really see from here, but I am standing on a platform. Normally I'll add 2 platforms just to make sure I'm getting the full range of motion, but given the knee, I just did 1 platform, and that took me to a little bit below parallel, which was perfect. This is a quad focused workout, so I'm really prioritizing knee flexion here. So I'm leading with my knees and keeping my core nice, tight, and engaged. Then I moved into the leg press. We're doing 3 sets of 10 to 12 here. I'm supposed to be doing a 2-second eccentric, so quicker reps, heavier weight, but given the circumstances and the fact that I can't really push as heavy as I usually do, I did want to make sure that I was making this challenging for me. So if you are going to try this workout, just make sure you have the correct foot placement. And I think I was like trying to make sure I was in frame here, but then I started posing. Anyway, walking lunges. We did 4 sets of 10 to 12 each leg. I'm supposed to be doing a 3-second eccentric on these. However, I was having some knee pain. So if you are following this workout, you can do a 3-second eccentric here. We are focusing on taking shorter, more narrow strides to prioritize knee flexion. I should be a little bit more upright in these as well. And finished off with 3 sets of 8 to 10 on leg extensions. I'm trying to focus here on keeping the tension throughout the entire movement and not losing it on the way down, and getting a really good squeeze at the top of the movement as well. And honestly, for only 4 exercises, this workout absolutely toasted my quads. They felt so pumped up, so a 10 out of 10 recommend trying. And I promise I didn't skip calves, but I did a little bit of posing between finishing my quad exercises and moving into my seated calf raises just to make sure I still had it a little bit. We did 4 sets of 10 to 12 of seated calf raises, and then I did ab/core work. I chose 2 exercises to do for that.
That took me a little bit longer than expected. I was kind of like testing the waters out with my knee. I will say I was not very optimistic after the first warm-up set I did on the Squat Pro because I did it with no weight. And as soon as I did the first rep, I was like, this is gonna hurt. Like my knee was on fire. But then surprisingly, like it started to ease up, like it started to kind of go away. The only exercises that it like really bothered me on were walking lunges and leg extensions. But I don't know if that's just because it was like the end of my workout. I ran to Wegmans right after I got done at the gym because I needed to stock up on a couple things. So first and foremost, I am completely out of cooking spray. Terrible, heartbreaking. So I'm so glad I have some. I've been trying to like use the last little bit and just like get as much on there because I've been making pancakes in the morning. It is hard to flip a pancake when it sticks to the pan. So we got some more of this. I love how I'm like, don't even know. Okay. Also, this is such a money grabbing scheme, whatever, but I fall for it every time because the salmon with the brown sugar and cracked pepper seasoning, of course I could make this at home. I could just do brown sugar and cracked pepper, add it together and sprinkle it on my salmon. But do I want to take the time to do that? No. Do I buy the $12 pre-made like salmon fillet with the seasoning in it? Yeah, I do. Definitely a scam, but I'm gonna have this for dinner tonight because I'm kind of feeling it. What else? I got rice. Again, convenience. I'm too lazy. I don't have a rice cooker right now. And I'm too lazy to like cook rice the old fashioned way. So we got this. I love this brand. I try not to go for like the rice cups or the rice pouches because they do have oils in them. So this is just like 100% just plain rice. So I got a couple jasmine rices and then 1 basmati. As far as produce goes, I got green beans, zucchini, and pineapple, which I dropped in the parking lot and am missing 1 now because I dropped it and it flew out. So sad, but this is our produce. I'm craving like chicken, rice, and zucchini with salt. That is just like on my mind, or like chicken, rice, and pineapple. So freaking good. And then finally, these chocolate chips. I add these because I can right now. Definitely not a cut or a prep food, but since I'm not doing either one of those, these are the dairy-free milk chocolate rice milk morsels, and they're so good, like so good. They are free from wheat, peanuts, tree nuts, dairy, casein, soy, egg, sesame, mustard, like all of everything. So these actually taste good too. So, and then flax seeds. Amazing way to get fiber in super quick. I add some to my smoothies that I'm gonna have now, and then I add it to my pancakes in the morning, and I'm like, pretty much 6 grams of fiber in, which when we're trying to get 30 grams of fiber in a day, it's like really difficult. I am going to now make my post-workout smoothie. Actually, I did lie. I have to have another one of those drinks real quick. So the glutamine and colostrum, that's what it's called. So we're gonna do 240 or 70, you know, that's fine too. Milliliters of almond milk, that's fine, 250 is fine. 12 grams of flax seeds, which has 3 grams of fiber in it. We're gonna do 100 grams of strawberries. Sometimes I'll do blueberries, but I did have blueberries for breakfast. 1 banana, which I do try to get like 100 grams of banana. If I'm a little bit over, it's fine. And then last but not least, because we're not just having like a smoothie with no protein in it post-workout, I am not having whey. I have not had whey since my initial gut issues after prep in 2022. So I have not had protein powder. But this is beef isolate, so there's no dairy in it. It's made from beef. So the only ingredients in the vanilla one are grass-fed beef, coconut cream powder, natural flavor, and stevia extract. The chocolate one is also really good, and I think that's just stevia, cocoa powder, and grass-fed beef. I think that's literally it. So far, so good. I do about 40 grams of this, which I think is like 30 grams of protein. I remember telling John all the time, I was like, I just wish I could have protein powder, because I feel like half the time I could add it to my pancakes. I could add it to my smoothies, like when I don't feel like eating, you know what I mean? Lacey actually posted this on her Instagram story, and I was like, oh shoot, I'm gonna try that. And then that is the smoothie. It's just like a strawberry banana smoothie with some vanilla in it. I'm gonna blend this up, eat this or drink this, and then my last meal is going to be the salmon that I have, the green beans that I have, and then I have some gluten-free pasta. We just finished up getting some coffee and getting some work done. I actually got to plan out a whole week's worth of content, which was so good, and I'm so excited. Pray for me that this GI map goes well, the results come back good, and I can take you guys on the journey of me going through another building phase before entering a prep. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, comment down below what you want to see next, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. As always, I will leave the handles right here, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.